afternoon, everyone. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and welcome to another Stamp and Chat Live. Today I'm in my home studio, as you can see, because we are on babysitting duty today. Tom and I are watching Mishi for Rena. She and Brian had something to do today, and so we have Mishi, and he is actually sitting across the room there looking at me right now. So we decided it would just be easier for us and easier for him to broadcast from home. So I hope you guys are all doing great today. Happy Thursday. Today we're going to have some fun because we're going to be doing an inking technique that I really love. And I wanted to feature one of our sets from our last release that we just had that I haven't showed you yet. And it's called Sending You a Squeeze. Now, the inspiration for this stamp set was something that I absolutely love, and I'm going to show you that in just a minute. And then we're going to have a little bit of fun with this technique, and I'm going to show you an easy way to line up these stamps onto die-cut pieces, because that's one of those things with this stamp set that you really can't stamp and die cut. Like, you can't stamp first and then die cut. It's really hard to do. But if you die cut the pieces first, the blanks, and then you stamp them, you're going to get perfect results. But there is a trick to it, so that's what I'm going to show you today. And I know a lot of you love our Master Layout series that normally occurs every Thursday. But this week, we decided to postpone the next Master Layouts video until next Thursday, and we'll be focusing on Master Layouts 10 then. So we hope you'll join us for that. Every once in a while, it's fun to just shake it up a little bit, right? But before we get started today, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom, how's it going?
Happy, whoops.
Ooh, there's two of you.
How did that happen?
I don't know. You know how things happen with technology, especially this technology, because this is a brand new setup for us. So we'll figure it out. You can always just say hello by yourself if you want. You don't need me in the picture to say hi.
Happy crafternoon, yes, from the home dead space.
Yeah. Well, maybe Tom can fix that, and you
That
can
was
see
a jumper.
him. Oh, really? That
Yeah.
happens sometimes. We have pre-set up scenes, and sometimes it jumps. So I guess I was supposed to be in the big picture, right? But Tom will fix it. All right. Well, I know he's got a word of the day, so he'll be back a little bit later. And but let's get started right away. So what I want to show you is the inspiration for this set. So this is the stamp set that we're going to be using today, and it's called Sending You a Squeeze. Now, you guys know that one of my absolute passions, something that I love so much, is Italian ceramics. I love Italian ceramics. So one of my favorite pieces in my collection is this bowl. This is a beautiful Italian ceramic bowl that I bought in a little ceramic store in Venice, Florida, right in their downtown area. It's called Coppola Artistica Ceramics, and that's where I bought this. I also bought this piece, which is kind of good for bruschetta, or bruschetta, if you want to say it the right way. And it's good for appetizers and things like that. And I love the painting on these. I just love the way that it looks, how the shading comes in, especially on the lemons here. The shading comes in from the one side. And so I thought that we could kind of mimic this look. I don't know that I want to do it with green, but we'll see. We'll see how it looks. We could try it a couple different ways, but I thought that we could mimic this today with our stamping and get a very similar look. So for those of you that love this kind of thing, I feel you, man. This is like, I love lemons. I love tomatoes, beautiful tomatoes, apples, the olives, the whole thing. So, but this is the one that I really wanted to try to mimic today with this stamp set. But I am going to show you how to stamp all of these so that, you know, we can see. Oh, I see people have bought some pieces there. Beth, you bought some pieces there? I know, this is a guilty pleasure. So I save up for this. And, you know, once I've saved enough, then I treat myself. If I get a gift card, you know, a Visa gift card or something for my birthday, then I try to go down there and get something, a little addition to my collection. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get a piece of white cardstock. Got to find that. And then, you know, because we're in the home studio, I honestly don't know where everything is. It's kind of tucked away. I stamp in here not very often. Most of the time I'm stamping at work in my studio because I have more things there, but I'm going to just, and I don't have any scraps here, believe it or not, so I'll have to make some scraps for sure. All right, so I'm going to just start with a piece of white cardstock, and I want to get my Misty stamping tool, and I am going to stamp some of these images inside the Misty. All right, so the way you're going to stamp, I know, Liz, but you can't be afraid to use your good stuff because there's no better time than now. So if you have any good china or you have good silverware or good glasses, don't wait. Don't keep them. I remember one time I watched an episode of Everybody Loves Raymond, and the mom on Everybody Loves Raymond, Marie, she saved the good towels. Nobody could use the good towels, and nobody could sit on the sofa. It had to have plastic on the sofa. And you know, when you think about that, it's like, what are you waiting for? Some of the most important people that you'll ever have in your life are the people that live with you and the people that stop by all the time, right? Treat them to the nice things, right? So I try to, you know, I use that for salad and meatballs and things like that. Okay, so I'm going to, these are brand new stamps here. I'm going to just rub my finger over these to try to get rid of any of the manufacturing residue. And I'm going to stamp these randomly all over this piece of cardstock. So, you know, you can also do these same images in oranges and greens. You know, have fun with it because citrus colors come in lots of colors, right? Orange, green, yellow. But yeah, you know, I mean, I did that too. I had china when I was younger, and I never used it because there wasn't, you know, a reason to use it because nobody was coming over. It wasn't fancy. It wasn't a fancy dinner. And now I kind of feel bad about that. And ultimately, I got rid of that china because I just never used it, and I felt bad. But, you know, you really need to use the good stuff on the people that are there every day, right? And, a little bit. Use the good towels. Tonight, use your good towels. It feels so good to use the stuff too. You know, it's so special to you and you love it, but then you don't use it because you're saving it for I don't know what. Okay, yes, we do sell this sticky mat. So this is our grip mat. It's our double background grip mat, and it makes it super easy to stamp. It's got two background stamps on one side, and then on the other side is a large grip mat that fits into your Misty. We also have a sticky mat. So a grip mat is different than a sticky mat. A grip mat sticks on both sides. So it'll stick to your Misty or your countertop. It'll stick on the top to paper. A sticky mat is just plain on the back, and I like to use these more for ink blending. This I like to use in my Misty. So yes, and we do sell both of those. We have a brand new one coming in May, a brand new grip mat. People have been asking when is our next one coming out. All right, so I've got this back on here now, and I'm just gonna pick any color. I wanna make sure it's a color that you guys can see. So I think I'll use something like, oh goodness. I'll use grass green, all right? So I'm going to stamp all of these images in grass green. I know that's a crazy color. And you know what, Tom? I don't even know where my tidy towels are. Where are my tidy towels in here? Oh my goodness. I have to find them. Let me just look for a second to find my tidy towel because I need to clean these stamps quite a bit. Oh, did I clean them and take them somewhere or leave them somewhere? I don't know. Well, if you can get me maybe some paper towels or something. I have some. All right. I don't know where I put it. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm just going to stamp these, and see, they're stamping kind of weird. It's okay. I want to stamp them a couple times, get them fairly solid, and this gives me an opportunity to, you know. Oh, I found my tidy towels, Tom. I found the tidy towel. I put the plant on it back here. Oh my goodness. So, I found it. We're good. We're good. You think he went downstairs to the kitchen. But we're good. So I found my tidy towel. I was screaming, but I thought maybe you went down to the kitchen. Okay, so I'm going to stamp all of these images in this bright green just so that it's easy to see. And we're going to leave all of the images right on the MISTI exactly where they are. Again, it doesn't matter if they're stamped perfectly, but I am going to stamp them a couple times just because that kind of helps them stamp better when I'm doing the real stuff, you know. Especially when they're brand new. Solid stamps really do need to be conditioned a little bit. Hello and welcome everybody. So I'm just cleaning them real well to get the green off. And then I'm leaving this exactly where it is, and I'm leaving these exactly where they are. Okay? Now I'm going to put this aside for a minute. And then I'm going to get my die cutting machine. I've got my Intracut here. Welcome everybody. The reason why our colored cardstock doesn't come in layering weight is because it's only 100 pound, and 100 pound is good for layering weight and for card bases. It would be astronomically expensive for us to order in the quantities that we need to order in both weights. But our layering weight white is 80 pound, and our heavy base weight white is 120 pound, drastically different. And 80 pound is right in the middle. So 80 pound is perfect for either layers or card bases. But when you want that really thick white layer and our ivory layer too, we have both weights in that. Okay, so I just cut out a few of these white pieces. These are the die cut pieces that we're going to stamp on. I'm going to do another round of those. And this really does make it easy when you're doing something like this kind of card. So I love all the fruits in this set. And you know what? I am still going to do that video that I promised you a while back. That's how to make your own ephemera and pattern paper. And this is definitely one of the stamp sets that we're going to be using in that video too, because beautiful lemons and cherries and strawberries for background paper, it's going to make the most fun summer cards. I'm going to cut a couple more here because I'm going to need them. So let me get another piece of white. Are our cameras too messed up for me to be in the picture too, Tom? We'll have to see. Something happened, you know? Oh, there I am. Hello. Okay, and I am using my big Intracut here for this because I want to cut out as many as I can. So I could have prepped this a little bit earlier, but sometimes it's fun to talk while we're doing the process. All right. Well, it's great to see everybody here. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. So our layering weight would be 210 GSM. Our heavy base weight is 300 GSM. And our 100-pound cardstock, which is all of our colors, are 270 GSM. For my friends that use GSM instead of pounds. Doing a short video. I will be doing a video down the line on how to use the T-square. So many of my friends use the T-square in all of their videos whenever they need a T-square. I know Kathy Zilski had one recently. And it's one of those things where, you know, you don't need it till you need it. So, and I don't think I have one here at home, but yeah, I'll be showing you how to use it as soon as I need it. All right, I think that's a good amount to cut out for now. And now what I want to do is I want to cut out those same images 6 times. Well, 3 times each. I'm sorry, 2 times each. I want to do a dark color. 2 times each using a darker color cardstock. So I'm going to use Tranquil Teal. You can use any scrap that you have in your collection. Just make sure that it's a different color than white because you want to be able to see it well. All right. So let's see here. I'm going to cut these out. I want to space them out a little bit because I am going to have to cut them apart. That should be good. I'm going to cut 2 sets of them. Kathy, yes, I'm home. Hey, Kathy Z. Yes, I'm home. I am babysitting a doggy today who is sleeping over in the corner there. So it's one of those things where I didn't want to leave him home and go to work because he gets a little bit upset. I do it occasionally, but I'm watching for Rena and Brian today. So we decided to shoot from home. All right. What stamp are you using? I'm not sure what that means. Do you mean like what stamping platform am I using?
What stamps are you using?
Oh, what stamps am I using? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were looking for something else. I am using the brand new set called Sending You a Squeeze. That was in our last release a few weeks ago. And I haven't done anything with it since we released it. And so I wanted to show you guys how to use it. And it's one of those sets that, you know, it can be a little complicated trying to figure out how to do these kinds of layering stamps unless you see it in a video. And a big thank you to Brianne Loveland for being here. Hey, Brianne, I see you out there helping everybody with links, and I appreciate you so much. Okay, so now we're going back to our little Misty here. And what I'm going to do next is I am going to trim these out. Let me find my scissors. There they are. We're going to trim these out. Misha, you okay over there? Little doggy. I'm going to trim these out, and I'm going to make little template holes to drop these blank pieces in. Mishi, you want a chewy stick? Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to line this up so that you've got a good, let's see here, did I do this right? I did it upside down. That's okay. That's all right. I'm wondering, I'm like, that does not look like we designed that die properly. Okay, so you can see I'm lining it up so that it is perfectly centered, and that's going to make it very easy for me to do both parts of this. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So we're going to just tack it down so it's nice and tight all around. Okay, now we've got this part up here, and I'm going to do this one pretty tight here. We don't even need the whole template. We really only need the top, but we'll see what it's going to look like. So this one is going to look like this. All right, but I want to just cut this out here. You could space them out more so you don't have to do this, but really this will be fine. This will work just fine. And this will give me the space that I need. Okay. So I want to make sure that looks right. And of course, I missed some stamping there, so that's a little distracting, but okay. And once you get this set up, this is when you can mass produce images that you can use for lots of cards in the future. All right, so we'll do one at a time here. And we'll put this down over here. Okay, so let's make some lemons, shall we? Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to put one of my lemon pieces into this template down here. And I am going to flip my Misty around so that it's in the right orientation so I can see it. Now you can do this technique with either ink pads or ink cubes. You can even do it with a combination of both. It's whatever you have is fine to use. So I'm going to start with yellow, all right? So I want to stamp this with yellow. Get some nice bright yellow on here. And stamp. All right. I'm going to pop that back in because I want to stamp it again and get it nice and solid. Do you have a chewy stick for him? Oh, you gave him one? He doesn't want it. Okay. Mishi, we have to have silence on the set. Quiet on the set. All right. So now we've got that nice bright lemon. Now what I want to do is I want to create some of this shading like in this dish, right? So I can do that with either green or I can do it with a different yellow. So just for the sake of making it look a little bit more lemony, like realistic lemon, I'm going to go with some honey mustard. And I want to create some shading that goes around right here. So remember, that's going to be the opposite side of my lemon. All right, so I'm going to just tap some ink down like that. And then I'm going to stamp that onto the lemon. Oh, isn't that pretty? That's so pretty. Look at how, I mean, look at the texture you get from that. Now you could do that also with green. So let's do one with yellow and some green. All right. So remember to always clean the stamp afterwards so that you don't transfer color. But I love that. And as this dries up, it's going to be beautiful. You can't hear Mishi? I know, but we can hear Mishi. And you know how that is? It's like, kind of like, you could just hear him in the background and you know he needs something, so you worry. It's better if he has a chewy stick or a little toy or something to play with. So it's all good. Okay. I'll have to bring him in and show him to you in a minute. All right, so now I got 2 nice coats of yellow on there. Now let's try it with some green to mimic the ceramics because I do like that look. Now I'm going to use jelly bean green for this, and this is a brand new ink cube. So I'm going to cut open this little sticky thing on the side because it's a little easier to cut it open than it is to peel it off. And I'll peel off the other one. These are our little protective dots that we hand put on every ink cube at work because we want to make sure that nothing opens up and gets damaged when it's shipped to you. But I know that, you know, you got to pick those off. All right, now I'm going to do the same thing over here on this side with the jelly bean. Just around like that. Let me clean that because I feel like I got it in a place I didn't want it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this underneath so you can see what it looks like a little bit better. Tom, can you do something with him? Maybe take him out. I mean, just get him maybe in the other room. Okay, so here we go. Let's see what that looked like. All right, now do you see how that kind of mimics the look of my lemons in the bowl? I love that look. It's so pretty, right? So I'm gonna stick with this color for my card, I think, just because I feel like this looks more like a natural lemon and kind of the shadow that it might cast. But I definitely wanted to get this feel because, you know, my bowls. I love my bowls. Wouldn't that be fun to give a bowl like this as a gift and then make a card like this with it? Oh, that'd be so pretty. I would love that. All right. So we have 1 lemon. Let's do another one in a different color, like a lime. We'll make one a lime. All right. So for this one, I'm going to use some jelly bean green. Let me find my jelly bean green ink pad. Here it is. Isn't this fun? Aren't you guys dying to try this? So we'll do some jelly bean green to make it a bright, fun green color. Do one more. And by putting it, I know the texture is great, right? The texture comes from the fact that these are felt ink pads. It's easier to do this when you use the felt or the linen. That's the texture of the pad itself. It doesn't give you that same texture when you use the spongy kind of ink pads, the foam pads, but the linen gives you such cool texture, especially, look at that. It's so fun. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing with some fresh asparagus. Let's open that pad up, and we'll do the same thing over here. All right. Look at that. Isn't that cool? This is such a fun inking technique that you can do with so many stamps. You can do this with flowers. You can do this with other stamps. I just used a piece of pixie tape to pull it out. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to flip this around and we're going to do the leaves. So let me get this one, and I'm going to pop this into this template. See, got it in the top template there. And now we're going to do the leaves. So that's this stamp right here. I'm going to ink this up with some jelly bean green. See, I have perfect placement. See how easy that placement was because I used the little templates? But you can understand that if you're not using this template method and you just try to stamp these, you're never going to get them in the right place to die cut properly, right? Because if this top, if you stamp it just to the left a little or to the right, how are you going to be able to die cut that? So by using the templates and just making 2 of them, then you get that perfect placement every time. All right, so there we go. Now let's add a little shading to this, and we'll do that with some of the fresh asparagus. So we'll add it just to the underneath part. And you know what, let me clean that because I don't want too much of that going. So I'm just taking it and I'm just like tapping it just along the edge there. Okay, and now I will stamp that. See how I created that? And we could do a little bit on this one too. Let's see, we can kind of get it under here. And then if that's too much, we can take a blending brush and we can just kind of dab a little bit of that off. Add a little bit of that there. Okay, I think that'll look good. And there we go. So doesn't that have just such a better look than just a plain yellow bottom and a plain green stem? You get all of that beautiful texture in there. Okay. So we'll do, let's do one more lemon for the sake of making a card today. We'll do another lemon in that same color combination. And I'll flip this around. I have this white piece under here so you can actually see how much ink I'm putting on that. And again, you can do this with flowers. I have a flower set here that, you know, depending on how we're doing with time, I'll be able to show you that. So again, I've got a lemon tucked away in here. That's why I say die cut a whole bunch of them and just make them all at once. You can even do each color and then pop it back in and do the next color. So like if I did 2 layers of the wild dandelion, I could pull that out, do another wild dandelion, pull it out, do another wild dandelion. Then once I had all the wild dandelion, I could go back and add the honey mustard, you know, because the template just makes it stamp perfectly every time.
Question, is there a reason why some ink pads are felt and others are sponge?
Well, some companies prefer the foam and some companies prefer the felt. The reason why I chose the felt, and I'll tell you this, is because I had the opportunity to do foam when we first started doing ink. And I asked the manufacturer what were their thoughts about it. And anybody that has been in this industry long enough will tell you, felt pads last longer. Foam pads are a little tricky. Over time, the foam gets dry and it can chunk You know, little pieces can chunk out. I had color box pads way back in the day, and as they got older, they started to kind of deteriorate. The other thing that's different about them is if you take a felt pad like this and you do wood graining and you go down the cardstock, you get more texture. It's not like solid ink, you get more of that texture. But if you catch the side of the felt pad on the corner of the cardstock, nothing's going to happen. If you catch the cardstock onto the foam pad, it can tear the pad. The other thing is foam pads need to be re-inked very often. They dry out much more quickly. Felt pads, I mean, I have some of the same felt pads at my studio at work that I've never re-inked them. And so all of those things to me made me want to go the route of the felt or linen, that sometimes they're called linen pads, for durability, for less re-inking, and for a lot of the techniques that I teach. I felt that they were a better option for my company. Now, other people like the foam pads better. It's totally up to you. There's no difference in the ink, although I do believe that the formula in the foam pads is just a hair thicker. Once it dries kind of the same way. But it needs to be just a hair thicker to penetrate the foam. So, I mean, it's really a preference, but that was just a call that we made 12 years ago when we did our very first ink pads. Foam was available back then. Colorbox was the big company that did foam, and we just decided to go with felt. All right, so now I'm going to use the honey mustard on the side here. Oh, it's such a fun technique. Look at that. Love it. And now we're going to flip it around. And again, that's not, I just want to be clear. I think that there are great companies that have chosen foam, and they're great for a lot of things. It's really just a personal choice for the company. I mean, they're available to anybody, but it's, you know, just a personal choice. And those were the reasons why I went in that direction. All right, so here we go with our leaves. Our cute little leaves. Oh, it's so cute. I like to go 2 coats to get it a little more solid. And then I'm going to go ahead and use some of the fresh asparagus again. Okay, and let's see if I can get some up here right from the start. Oh, I think I did. Okay, and you can see, let's just get this under here so you can see what that looks like. You see how much I put on there? Just along the edges. And then we'll pop that in there. And there we go. We've got our little bit of details. Feels very painted, doesn't it? Let's put a lime in the mix too for this card. So we can do the lime leaves here. And we're using the same color combination for the limes. We could have changed it up and used, I didn't even think about using key lime, to be honest with you, because I just had these colors out. But key lime would have been a fun leaf color for the, a fun fruit color for the limes. I think that's one of Kathy Zilski's favorite greens. She had told me one time that she loved key lime, that it's a fun color. And that might have been a fun distinction between the two. But, you know, if you only have a couple of greens, don't worry about it. Just use what you have. And then we'll add that fresh asparagus again. It's going to be a little darker on that leaf, but that's okay. That's kind of the fun of this too. Each one is going to look a little bit different, and that makes it interesting. All right, so there we go. Now let's do a couple of these other fruits. Let's do the strawberry next. So I know I already cut all of these. I'm just going to clean these. You know, and as long as you don't take this off, you could go back later. You could set up your MISTI and go back later, and then maybe tonight, you know, I could make a few more for my different cards that I want to make in the future. But let's do a strawberry next.
Question from Marcia. What flower stamp would be great for this technique?
So I have a stamp set here that I thought would be really cool, and it was actually an incentive set, so a lot of you might have it, and that's another reason why I looked through. This Dreams Come True stamp set and die bundle. Back then when this was the incentive set, you were able to pick up the dies by itself, but this would be a great one because you could do that technique around the perimeter of this, and then you could do it kind of underneath the flower a little bit here, and I think that that would be really pretty one too. So any stamps that you have in your collection that are solid like this versus a line art stamp, which is going to be open and have thin lines where you can color in there. These solid, more silhouette style images are perfect. Okay, so strawberry, where'd I put it? Here it is. I was working on it and then so I'm cutting this fairly close. And for the reds, I have a pretty good red combination that I think works really well. So let's line this one up first. You know, and by doing this, by doing the two-tone, you know, if I use the white, this piece, it's hard to see. It's hard to see if I have a good white edge, right? I mean, it all kind of blurs together. But by cutting my template out in a real bright, vibrant, deeper color, I can see how perfect my white line is going around. So make sure that you make your templates with a deeper, darker color. And then you can, once you make these templates, store them with the stamp set in the pocket. You don't have to make them every time. You can reuse them. The only thing that you can't reuse is this part, because you have to stamp it first in the right spot to know that, you know, you've got it lined up with where the stamps are in the MISTI. I guess you could look at it and try to line the stamps back up onto these images, but I'm not that good, number one, and number two, that seems more complicated than just stamping it again. Oh yeah, Tom knows what tidy towels are. Tom uses tidy towels when he's washing the car too, right, Tom? They're good for everything.
Why not?
That's right. Why not? All right. So again, I went a little close here. So rather than struggle with that, I'm just going to cut the bottom off of this. It's okay because all I really need it to have is this top part in the right spot. And as long as it's secure in there when I put my little piece in, it should line up fairly well. Yeah, the dark colors really make a difference. Funky flowers, yes, that would be a great one, Danette. I like that idea for this technique too. So funky flowers. Some of the leaves would be absolutely beautiful, like from Autumn Silhouettes. Oh, some of those leaves would be great. I'm going to move this because I don't feel like it's in the perfect spot. Probably would have been better for me to have the tape ready to go, because I took so much time lining it up and then I had to let go to get the tape. There we go. Okay. But this is worth taking your time doing, because then when you mass produce, you're just popping them in, popping them in, you know, stamping. All right, so we'll start with red, and I'm going to use Red Hot because it's a nice bright red. So I'm going to use Red Hot. Yeah, Mishi seems to have calmed down. He's in the dead space with Tom, yeah. I think he just wanted to be on the floor. I had him up on a piece of furniture, thinking that he would like that better, but he did not. All right, so I'm stamping the strawberry. Nice and centered. That's just another reason to do templates anyway, just because of how centered you can get these images. Go. Nice. So we have a nice bright red strawberry. Now for the shading color that I want to kind of do around the side here, Faded Brick is a great color. It's deep, but when it mixes with the red, it doesn't look so brown. Now you can also use Warm Cocoa if you really want something darker. So let's try the faded brick and see how that looks. Oh, wrong side. See, I wanted it around here. I don't want it around this side. So it's always good to just look and see. Oh, nope, that's not going to be good. I think I might end up going with warm cocoa. But we'll see. So I want to do it on this side over here. Let's get this piece of paper under here again so we can see it. All right, I still think this might be a little too bright. But let's look at it. Well, that looks pretty good, actually. See, it just casts that nice shadow. That's all we want, is kind of like the light coming and doing a shadow. So now we can pop this in here. And let me clean my Misty up in the corner because I rested my Misty into that faded brick ink cube. All right, now we're gonna do the same greens. We're gonna do jelly bean.
And what was the first red color?
Red hot. There we go. See, it's right in there. Perfect. Perfect. Love it. This is one of my favorite stamp sets that we just released because, again, you know I love my ceramics. And for those of you that are just joining us, this was my inspiration for this set. This is my Italian ceramic bowl that I bought at a cute little place called Coppola Artistica Ceramics in Venice, Florida. All right, so now I'm going to add just a little bit of fresh asparagus to this. I'm just going to add it right down here. Oop, wrong side again. It's always the opposite side. I always have to remember. Although I don't think it would make a difference if I did them all that way, but because I've already started with the lemons, I think I need to have them all consistent. There we go. Cute, right? Now you can see the faded brick is fading up, so it's not quite as dark as it was before, but I still think it's going to be good. Mishi! Hello! Everybody say hi to Mishi. What do you think, Mishi? Do you like this technique? Oh my goodness. This is how people like me who don't have grandchildren, these are our grandchildren. And I know Kathy Zilski, who's here, knows what I'm talking about because she's got Frankie, and that's her daughter's cat. And Frankie, at one time, there was a Frankie cam on Kathy's channel where she would show Frankie sleeping off into the corner. But I'm good. I'm good with these little grand puppies that I have. He's so cute. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit of faded brick to this again, and I'll remember that I have to go on the opposite side. You guys have to try this technique, though. You have to try it. Dig through whatever stamps you have, but if you want to do the fruit, this stamp set, this Stamp and Die bundle is super fun. And I don't know, you know, the thing about fruit is I feel like you could give this card to anybody. It's just a fun, cheerful card. All right, so now we've got our shading over there. And then we're gonna do a couple cherries, and then we'll combine all of these into one card we'll make today. Oh, I guess it would be a good idea for me to actually move that, right? So if you have trouble getting these out, again, take a little pixie tape or a little washi tape. You can always like tap it on your shirt just so that it's not too sticky, and then they'll just pull right out like that. This way you don't have to try to pick them out or, you know, damage the edges of them at all. You could tell my tidy tails were not very clean from my last video because my hands are all turning green. I must have used a lot of green from the last time I used them. We definitely want to do more videos from here. Still want to do my pajama party idea. All right, and now I'm going to use the fresh asparagus on that side. So I want to come in like here. Oh, that's a lot. Should I try to, let me just get rid of that. I'm putting it on a blending brush. I'll use it later from the blending brush. There we go. There. All right. I feel like I'd like to have one more color in this mix. Like orange would be good, but we'll stick with these colors. We've got yellow, we've got red, we've got green. They're nice bright colors. So now let's do our cherries. If we're here to watch Gina, why the dog? Doesn't that take away from what Gina's doing? No, it enhances what I'm doing. I love that dog. Because we're home today and we like to bring you guys into our lives and what's going on with our lives because we're all friends here. Okay, so this one is a little bit tricky too. So I'm glad we're going to do this one. We're going to put one cherry here first. All right. I'm going to put one cherry in. And we'll get that lined up. Okay. Now I'm going to start with one cherry. And we'll do red hot.
Can we do a refresher on how to clean the tidy towel? What to use?
Oh, sure. It's easy. All you have to do is take it to the sink and rinse it until color isn't like squeezing out of it anymore. That's one way to do it. The other way to do it is just to go ahead and throw it in your laundry. I throw mine in a lot of times when I'm doing like a bunch of black leggings and things like that, which, you know, I wouldn't put it in with colors just in case any ink got on anything, but and then just don't put it in the dryer and it'll be totally fine. Okay, so now I'm going to add a little bit of shading by just adding a little bit of that color right along this side here. That's the faded brick. Okay, so you can see that, right? Now, I'm going to do the other cherry. So I'm going to do two cherries just in case I need them while it's all set up here. Okay, one more stamping of that red hot just to get it nice and solid. Oh, see what I did with my... That would be a problem. I guarantee you down the line that would be a problem. We need to have the right lid. Okay, so now I'm going to add that faded brick around the perimeter right here. Okay, now I've got two of those ready. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this same template and I'm just going to shift it and put the other cherry right in there. Because these cherries are actually the same. Make sure it's nice and centered. And it's nice too because when you're stamping this by itself, you know, if you're not doing all these and you want to use an acrylic block, you really could just kind of cut off one of these and just have a single cherry if you want. But the two cherries are really cute. All right, Tom. So while I'm finishing this cherry, do you happen to have a word of the day for everybody?
Yes, word of the day. And this is courtesy... This word of the day is courtesy of, someone on TikTok. I lost track of who posted this, but I thought it was really great, and I had to share it. sometimes you come home and you just lie down on the couch or something for 10 minutes before you go to bed and kind of like, you know, reset a little bit,
Yeah.
relax, and maybe even fall asleep for a little bit, and then you go up and you're down for the night. So that is called a nappetizer. I love that word of the day.
That's great.
A little nappetizer before you go down for the night. Word of the day, back to the home dead space.
Oh, I love it. Oh, yeah. Why does that feel so good to have an appetizer? Okay, so now I've got those cherries, and then I'm going to add my shading. Right there. Now we've got these two cherries ready to go. And we're going to reposition the whole thing to, let's see, did I forget? I think I forgot to stamp one of the stamps, so I'll have to do that. So I'm going to place this that looks good. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit more so that we've got it kind of even on the top too. There we go. And now we can do the green parts. And the cherries have an extra little piece that we can do with an acrylic block if we want to. So let's pop this into place. And now we're just going to do the stems. Could have lined that up better, but we'll keep it. We'll keep it, and we'll just do a little bit on the side here of the fresh asparagus. That'll work. I could reposition it, but I'm not going to. I think this is going to be good. I don't even know if I'm going to use the cherries in the card, but I definitely wanted you guys to see the cherries and how to like kind of do both cherries. I could see where I went wrong because I didn't line it up as well over here on this side, but I still think it's fine. All right, now we're going to add the leaves. So the leaves I didn't die cut, and I should have done that. So let's go ahead and do that. We've got the leaf here. So we're going to stamp this, and I'll use the green for this, and then we'll die cut a quick little leaf. I'll use my tiny die cutting machine for this. Oh no, I don't want to because I like using the grip mat for that, and the grip mat is in use, so I'll use the big one. And let me close these ink pads. You know, I have so many ink cubes open right now, and then we're going to turn this into a very cute little card. Okay. What, pray tell, did I do with? Here it is. Here it is. Good enough. All right, I'm going to quickly, just out of a piece of this teal, cut one more cherry. Oh, I don't even need to cut another cherry. What am I thinking? I could just use that cherry. Oh my goodness. After all that. Was somebody screaming that to me and I just didn't realize it? Of course, it's the same exact die cut. So we just have to move this one again. Were you all thinking the same thing I was thinking? So I'll tell you, now that I'm doing this, it would have been a lot easier for me to start with the leaves and then add the stems last. So if you do this set, do your leaves first, then that'll help you position the stems much better. All right, and we're going to again use Jelly Bean. I know y'all saw that and it was just me, right? And then we'll do one more, and then we're going to add some fresh asparagus again. See, my grandbaby's distracting me. My cute grandbaby. My grandpuppy. I had him for 3 weeks while Rena and Brian were in the Philippines, and he's just a little love. He's just a joy. Very sweet little dog. He just wants to be included, that's all. I know we have a lot of animal lovers in our group.
Mishy's a Pom.
Yeah, he's a Pomeranian. Painted. He's kind of painted. Painted Pom. I think that's what they're called, but maybe not. I asked Rena about that. Okay, so you see that little spot there? That little white spot? Should I zoom in so you can see it a little better? I want to show you how to fix it. Oh, I have to... Come on now. Zoom in. Why doesn't this work now? Oh, it's got a battery thing. I have a dead battery. All right, so let's try this. You see the little white spot right there? All right, what I'm going to do to fix that, because you're never going to find a marker or a pencil that's the right color. I don't care how hard you try. So take one of your blending stumps that we normally use for colored pencils and Gamsol, and just rub that blending stump onto the ink pad that you were using, and then just tap the color in. Don't worry if it looks like it's going on a little darker. It's going to dry up because we have that smoothing agent. It's going to dry up to the exact color of the ink pad, so you don't have to worry about that. All right, now I'm going to add the fresh asparagus onto this. Oh, good. I'm glad you could see that. Make sure that that's in there. All right. So now we have all of our little fruits, and I'll bring them out here. And I feel like we're done. I feel like we have enough here that I don't have to worry about leaving this all set up. So I'm going to take this out because I'm going to stamp something else in here. And I'm going to put the fruit away. So again, if you're enjoying this stamp set, this is a new one from our last release, and it's called Sending You a Squeeze. And it's got really cute greetings in here too. So I'm definitely going to use one of the greetings for this. And I feel like this might be just the perfect card for... I have a couple friends that love the Italian ceramics too. And I might pick up a piece next time I visit that area and save it for a holiday gift. And I think that would be a really cute card, because your cards, sometimes you just want your cards to match the gift, not so much the holiday, right? So here are some of the greetings. We've got, hello, sweet friend, sending you a squeeze, and you're the cherry on top. And since we're going to be using all of these for this card, or at least a bunch of them, aren't they cute? Look how cute they are. All the little shading. Since we're going to be using most of these, I think I'll use hello, sweet friend, because they're all sweet, right? But sending you a squeeze might be better just for the squeeze things. And you're the cherry on top might be more fun for just a cherry card. Yeah, fruit salad time. We got fruit salad here, everybody. Okay, so let's go ahead and stamp that greeting. I'll just use this.
Trish wants to know, can you clean the blending stump?
Yes, you can. All you do is just wait for it to dry, whether it has Gamsol on it or ink. Wait for it to dry and just take a nail file and just file that color off. I file in one direction and I turn the blending stump as I file. See how I'm kind of turning it like that as I file to keep the point. And that's how you clean it. Super easy to clean. Okay, so now I need my black Onyx ink. Here it is. And we're going to use Hello Sweet Friend. And I think we'll definitely cut this out too so we can pop the greeting up. And for those of you that are just joining us and are looking for the next edition of Master Layouts videos, that is going to be next Thursday, and we're going to be focusing on Master Layouts 10. So for those of you that are keeping up, and maybe that's one you don't have, you have a little bit of time to get it before then. Otherwise, it is a great video just to watch for ideas. That is the Master Layout set that features slimline cards. Now, slimline cards are different than the mini slimline cards because slimline cards are big. They're the size of a business envelope, and they still mail for the same exact price as a regular piece of mail, as long as they're not too thick. So I would definitely look into that one as an option if you're interested, and if not, that's totally fine. It'll still be a fun video. Still, there's always tips or tricks that you can incorporate with any of your master layouts or any of your card making. You just never know what little tip or trick is gonna show up. So I'm gonna pull this grip mat out. What is the reason for the grip mat to be shorter than the Misty? Well, because this is a double background stamp, and these two stamps measure 4 by 6, and so we wanted it to be, we wanted that to be consistent, and also going up just that much more would have increased the price drastically for you guys, and you don't need it. You really don't need it. So
that's your standard stamp size, right? 6 by...
Well, this is a full stamp set sheet size.
Right.
Yeah, a 6 by 8 stamp set. So if we had gone up to the next size, it would have drastically increased the price for you. And I really didn't want to do that. And it didn't really make a lot of sense. So that's why.
And Tanya wants to know, can you pour the unused Gamsol back into the original container?
I do. I don't know if you are supposed to, but I do, and I don't have a problem with it. So I would say the answer is yes. Yeah, this week gives you a chance to catch up on your binders for those of you that are keeping up with the binder and doing all of the different things, making all of your tri-cuts and all of that. And once in a while, it's good to mix things up. And I definitely wanted to get this video out because I had a lot of customers sending messages to customer service saying, hey, I bought the Sending You a Squeeze set, and I would really love a video to see how to use it. And I thought it was the perfect time to show this little inking technique. And again, you can do it with flowers. You can do it with any solid stamps that you have in your collection. All right. So now we're going to talk about grounding images, and I've been talking about this for 100 years on my channel. I've been doing this for a long time, but I think that when you have images like this and you just don't want to use a die cut piece, you can get a really nice look by using a little bit of stenciling to ground your images in the center of your card. So I'm going to put this back because I think we're done stamping. So let's get this put away. I've been storing it right up here in my cardstock storage. All right, so we've got all of our pieces, and what I want to do is cut a Master Layouts panel that measures 3.5 by 4 3/4, which is going to be the standard Master Layouts 2 die size. So if you don't have Master Layouts 2, you can just cut it to 3.5 by 4 3/4. But I'm going to cut it with my die cutting machine and Master Layouts 2. What's the stamp set? The stamp set is called Sending You a Squeeze. One more time. It's this one. I put it in there backwards. But this is the Stamp and Die bundle, Sending You a Squeeze. It's just a cute little bundle. It's a little bit cheaper than most of our bundles because it is a 4 by 6 stamp set instead of a 6 by 8. But you really don't need anything else. I mean, it's the right size for what it is, what we need. All right, and then I've got a Master Layouts 2 die here, and I always turn it just a little bit to send it through, just because it cuts a little better that way. If you download the templates too onto a little USB drive, you can always take it to your local office supply store and they can print them all for you if you don't have a printer and you know, can't get one right now, but down the line you're going to get one. Just take them to the local printer. They'll print them out for just, I don't know what a copy costs now, but certainly not that much. Okay. Certainly not the same amount as buying a whole printer if you're not up for buying a printer right now, but you still want to organize your binder. Alrighty. And they're just PDFs, so you can download them all. If you're looking for them, and for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about our master layout series. We're making binders together with all of the master layouts, information and sizing and try me sheets and idea sheets and everything. And I've got PDF downloads for everybody each week when we add a new master layouts video. So we're going on to master layouts 10 next week, and there are 20 master layout sets so far, so we're having a lot of fun with that. Okay, so I think I've got everything here except a card base, and we'll be ready to assemble this card. Now I am going to be using some foam squares for this because I really do want to pop everything up and give this card lots of dimension. So the die that I used was Master Layouts 2. That's this die set right here, Master Layouts 2. And it has, if you're interested in this die set, check out the video that does the deep dive for Master Layouts 2. I have a whole playlist of Master Layouts videos on my channel that you can find. Okay. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of grounding for this. So we can use a stencil, and I've got a couple different stencils here that would be fun to use. All right. So I have one of our new ones, which is the this one right here that I haven't used in a video yet. It's called Scattered Hearts. That would be really fun. Yes, you can use the magic mat in the intricut. Yes, you can. We could do Harvest Flourish. We could do this one, which is the crop circles. But let's use the new one because it's new and, you know, it's always fun to see a new product in action to determine whether or not you like it and you think it's for you. So this is Scattered Hearts. There's a little tiny piece that didn't pop out. There we go. And then I'm just going to place that right on here. So I'm using my sticky mat this time, and that holds the cardstock and the stencil in place. Makes it very easy to do some stenciling. Now I have my ink stand here, and I'm going to use soft stone ink. I want this to be pretty and light. I don't want it to be real obvious in the back here, but I want to ground my images, because if I just threw these images on a piece of cardstock, you know, just hanging out in space with the greeting, it feels like it's missing something. It's cute, but it feels like it's missing something. So what I'd like to do is have a little bit of something going on in the background, just a little something, to kind of draw your eye toward the center and make it not feel like it's just hanging out in the middle of nowhere. So Brianne, would you mind sharing your link to the inkstand too, so that people can find that? Because that is I always say, it's the #1 question that we get after a video. Where do I get an inkstand? All right, so I'm going to start in the center here, and I'm just going to create a little bit of gray. I'm using soft stone. A little bit of gray. You might not even see a lot of it, but let's take a look and see what that looks like. Oh, that's nice. See, it's just soft. It doesn't get in the way. And now that kind of gives us a little bit of a backdrop so that we can kind of add our images to wherever we want them. I don't know exactly what I want to do yet, but I know I don't want to do it. I kind of like this collage where it's like kind of draping down the card. Ooh, I like this. All right, that's what we're going to do. So let me get this off of here. And then when you try to get your cardstock off of the mat, you just like roll it like that and the paper will pop right off. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some foam squares. I remember last time I was here I couldn't find my foam squares, so I grabbed some extras at work the other day and brought them home. And I will be able to use that. So let's layer these two panels together first. And then I want to figure out the right color card base for this. All right. We could definitely go with yellow, which feels like maybe what I'd want to do if I was going to be giving this with one of those lemon bowls, maybe. But let's just take a look at what wild dandelion looks like. I just want one. So we'll just lay wild dandelion here, just so that we can look. We don't have to make our decision yet. Oh, and you know what? There's one other little part of these lemons that I have to stamp. I want to show you. Forgot about that. Let me just show you on the stamp set. It's these, the little veins. Can you see them here? The little veins. They're not for the lemons, I'm sorry, for the cherries. They go right there on the cherries. So we're going to add those, but we'll add them after I figure out how this is going to look. So if I get these lemons in the center, and then I pop a lime up like that, and then I add some cherries down here. I like it to go off the card a little bit, and maybe pop a strawberry over there. I don't know if I want the cherries, maybe one cherry. Definitely want the strawberries. Let's see here. Okay, I kind of like that. Definitely want to have a strawberry. That would be kind of cute. Kind of like that. And then we'll pop our greeting right down here like this. That's a fun collage. I kind of like the way that looks. Yeah, I like that. So let's go ahead and be brave, and we'll use an acrylic stamping block for this. I have one. And we'll use some fresh asparagus ink, which I have in a big pad. And we'll stamp the little veins of the cherry leaves. I think this is too big. I think I'll use a smaller block like this. And we're going to stamp it right on there. All right. Wish me luck. Everybody ready? Okay. But do you guys like the yellow, or should we be focusing on maybe that green, since we only have one little... Well, we have a lot of green, though. All right, here we go. There we go. Good enough. I'm happy with that. Okay. Again, you can't beat a Misty, though, can you? For perfection. But if you're not worried about perfection, then you're in the Gina K realm of better than horrible. And if it's better than horrible, it's good enough. All right, so let's look at this cardstock. So now we know, like, this is the, this is kind of the layout we want, right? So here's the yellow. Let's look at red. I'll get a piece of, what's this red up here? This will work. Here's a red. And that's kind of nice too, right? And then we've got to do a green. So this looks like grass green. Do I not have jelly bean? Oh, look at grass. And that's the green. So what do we do? Oh my goodness. There's a lot of green in this card between the lime and all of the greenery. So I think I'm gonna pass green. The red is fun. Red is fun. There's such a little bit of red on this card that I think that red card base is fun. The yellow's fun too. But I think the red brings out the red in those. Okay, I see so many people saying yellow and red. It's such a mix, you guys. All right, I'll go with red. Should I go with red? Is there more red, Tom? There's a lot of yellow, too. What do you see the most of, Tom? Red or yellow?
I think red.
Red is winning? All right. All right, so we're going to go with red. This is Christmas red. Which, by the way, Christmas red is a fantastic red that really matches Red Hot really well. They are exactly the same type of red. Very, very close. All right, and then I'm going to score this at the 4 1/4 inch mark. Even though you guys know I prefer a tent style card when I'm taking a picture, but this will work. It's a nice crease there. Okay. And let's put it together. Okay. I know yellow would have been great. Yellow is great too. I think the green looked good, but we have a lot of green in the card. So I think this is going to work. Okay. So I think I'll start with the 2 lemons, and then I'm going to have the lime overlap just a little bit like that. That's so pretty just like that, honestly. And then I think I will slip the cherries under there like that, and we'll add a berry up there. That's the layout. So now we've got to kind of position these one at a time. I think I'll do the lemons first. And I'm going to use the large foam squares. I'm going to leave a lot of room underneath to slip things underneath. So I'm just going to use like one big one there and then like a couple small ones on the leaves. But I want to leave room for things to slip underneath. But I hope that you like this technique because I think the technique is really fun and it's worth trying. It's worth trying with a bunch of different stamps that you have. And if you love fruit the way I do, and I really do, I love fruit stamps. Fruits are just so fun. All right. And I'm going to like lay these down gently in case I have to move them. We'll do this one more. We'll get the green ones all in their spaces first. Our master layouts videos that I have coming up next week, the 10, they do take up a lot of prep time too. And I was a little short on time this week, so this gave me a chance to explore this set a little bit. Okay, we'll have one there. Another one over here like that. Maybe I'll bring that down a little bit more. That looks good. There we go. Okay. Then this can slip under here. We'll just slip that little one leaf under there. Yeah, I like that. And then we'll just pop up these bottom ones. Once they're in place, they're not going anywhere. Like that. And then we'll add this one right up here. Cute. Very cute. It's a fun card. It's a fun card to make. And then this we're going to put right on it, like that. And we'll add just a few foam squares under there. I don't even know that this needs to be embellished at all. I feel like it doesn't. I feel like I'll put 2 foam squares down here at the bottom, and then I'll just add a little tape up here at the top so it can tape onto the fruit. I feel like this is just busy enough as it is. So maybe right there. Oh, so cute. There we go. And there's our finished card with all that fun shading and texture.
Fruit salad.
Fruit salad, yeah. Fruit salad in a card. I love it. They're so pretty. They're fun. And then once again, what a nice gift that would be. And we could always use this style to make it match more with the green. We could even do fresh asparagus along the very edge there. But that would work too if you were kind of giving it with a gift like this. You could really make it match. So, very fun. Well, what do you think, Tom?
I think it's time for some fruit salad.
I think it is too. Well, we're going to give away a gift card to one lucky commenter out there. So if you haven't left a comment, go ahead and quick do one now. And while you're leaving a comment, let me tell you about what we would love you to do if you wouldn't mind. We would love it if this is your first time here, or if you're new to Gina K Designs, if you would hit that that like button. That like button is probably down below the screen, but we would love it if you would hit the like button, and then we would love it if you would subscribe to the channel. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss another video. And then if it's the first time here and you're new to Gina K Designs, we have a very active Facebook group where we all share different cards using Gina K Designs stamps. It's called Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. We would love it if you would join us in our Facebook group. If you missed some of Maryanne's links, and Maryanne, thank you so much. You're such a link ninja. You can find everything for everybody, and we appreciate you so much. But if you did miss one of her links and you're looking for the products that I used today in this video, you can find them on our website at ginakdesigns.com. All right, so Tom, are you ready to give away a gift card?
And the winner is, let's get a drum roll. Here we go. Today's winner is Maryanne Donald. Maryanne Donald.
Yay, Maryanne. Congratulations, Maryanne. All you have to do is send your name and email address to info@ginakdesigns.com and we'll get that gift card right out to you. Well, everybody, man, this was fun today. I had a great time playing with ink. I hope that you enjoyed it and that you will give this technique a try. Tom and I will be back next Tuesday night with another Stamp and Chat Live. We'll be back in the studio at work, and we're going to be having a lot of fun then. So we hope that you'll join us for that. In the meantime, everybody, stay safe and healthy. We love you all so very much, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.